Mom's text came at 8:12 a.m. sharp, the kind of precision she reserved for cruelty. "We're doing Mother's Day with just the well-behaved kids this year. Yours can skip it." No emojis, just that. My daughter was standing beside me, holding the phone before I could take it back. She didn't understand every word, but she knew enough. Her eyes went glassy, bottom lip trembling. I told her it was fine, that Grandma was just tired, but she started crying anyway. I texted back one word: understood. Then I opened my banking app and canceled my card. The family group chat lit up minutes later. Selfies at the restaurant, my mother's wrinkled grin, my sister's filtered perfection. Champagne glasses raised. My daughter's absence edited out with surgical precision. They had no idea what was coming. I used to believe my mother loved control because it kept the family together. That's what she told us growing up. Structure is love. And I clung to that idea even as she criticized every choice I made. My husband, my home, my child's manners, nothing was ever good enough. When my father died, she turned it up a notch. My siblings bent like grass in the wind. I didn't. That made me difficult. But difficult daughters remember, and they plan. The first crack came last year when I found out she'd opened a savings account in my daughter's name without telling me. At first I thought it was generosity. Then I saw who had access. My sister, her golden child. It wasn't about money, it was about control, about keeping score, about reminding me that even my daughter's future wasn't mine to protect. That was the moment the switch flipped. I didn't explode, I didn't confront, I started watching. I watched how she used guilt like a leash, how my siblings fawned for scraps of her approval, how she wielded family events as performance stages, and I was always the villain in her story. So I started rewriting the script, quietly. I began with the card, the family event fund that I paid into every year. My money booked her dinners, bought her gifts, fueled her illusions of harmony. So I canceled it. Without that card, her fancy Mother's Day booking, the one she bragged about for weeks, was suddenly unpaid. Then I checked the venue. I knew the manager. My husband used to work with him. I explained the situation delicately. There'd been a payment mix-up, and I wanted to make sure my name was removed from the reservation, permanently. He smiled, polite but curious. Of course, he said. Who should we contact instead? I gave him my sister's number, and then I waited. At 2:14 p.m., the first message came through. Mom's card declined. Did you cancel the payment? I ignored it. By 2:37, there were photos in the chat, everyone laughing, pretending nothing was wrong. I knew that look in my mother's eyes, the one she used to wear when she was cornered but refused to admit defeat. By 3 o'clock, they were calling me, repeatedly. I silenced the phone and poured my daughter another glass of lemonade. We spent the afternoon painting in the backyard, sunlight spilling over her curls. She asked if Grandma was mad. I said, maybe, but that's not our problem anymore. The fallout began the next morning. My sister posted a passive-aggressive story about ungrateful people who ruin family traditions. My brother called to say Mom was furious, that she'd been embarrassed in front of the staff when her card bounced. The restaurant had to ask her to settle the bill again with her own credit. She tried to spin it as an innocent mix-up, but her friends saw the truth. The perfect matriarch's mask had cracked. Then came the fundraiser debacle, another one of her family image projects, charity dinners, all under her name. But the foundation's accountant reached out to me about the same card details. I told them, politely, that I no longer authorized charges. 2 days later, they froze her account for verification. And just like that, her empire of appearances began to crumble. The confrontation came a week later. She showed up at my doorstep, fury wrapped in pearls. My daughter was in bed, so I stepped outside. "You humiliated me," she hissed. In front of everyone. I tilted my head. No, Mom, you did that yourself. Her nostrils flared. You think you're teaching me a lesson? I'm not teaching, I said calmly. I'm just done paying for the performance. She stared at me, genuinely stunned, as if she couldn't process that her favorite puppet had cut the strings. Then she said the only thing left in her arsenal. You've changed. I smiled. No, I just stopped apologizing. That night, I poured myself a drink and scrolled through the group chat one last time. The photos were still there, their smiles brittle, eyes strained. For the first time, I didn't feel like the outsider. I felt free. They could keep their Mother's Day rituals, their perfect pictures, their empty toasts. I had something better. My daughter's laughter echoed from the next room, soft and unguarded. That was the only approval I needed. Revenge doesn't always look like fire. Sometimes it's silence, the kind that makes them hear their own cruelty echo back. And when they finally do, you don't have to say a word.